Good evening and welcome to 90 Minutes. It's Monday, the 14th of December. I'm Simon Alamandy, and as every week, I'm joined by my co-host, Pete Hill. Evening, Pete. It was nice to get out to some live football this week, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Loved it. Two live games and one more to come up tomorrow as well. So really loving getting out there because I was going stir crazy at home. But it was great to get out and watch some really nice football this week.
Yeah, like you say, two entertaining games, and obviously we'll bring you the details of those shortly. Also this week we are joined at half-time by our guest, Jamie Southwell, the Bury Rangers girls chairman, and looking forward to a chat with him and chatting local girls football and also about their new women's side as well, Pete.
Yeah, it's always good, isn't it, to talk women's football. Looking forward to having a chat to Jamie and such a big club as well. Didn't realise Bury Rangers, are such a big club, aren't they? And probably people don't realise that.
No, that's it. That they cover all bands of football. The boys, the girls, seniors, walking football, etc., etc. And yeah, it's great to learn more and hear what they're doing, which is fantastic for the local community.
Yeah, and a lovely bit of history on their website as well. Read the history. Really interesting stuff as a bit of a history buff. Well, let's kick off this week with more from the FA on, the controversy which has stopped us watching Tier 3 and Tier 4 football because of COVID. Well, there was an announcement this week from the FA that did kind of tend to lighten things a little bit, which basically said that he'd been in touch with the Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sport, and they have said there will be a limited return of home spectators to be permitted at clubs competing in the National League system, Women's Football Pyramid, Build-Based FA Vars and the FA Trophy as well, if they're in Tier 3 areas, because we thought Tier 3, no spectators. Well, that isn't actually going to be the case. The FA has worked alongside the DCMS, Sports Ground Safety Authority and the leagues to gain approval. The clubs competing in steps 3 to 6 of the pyramid that are situated in Tier 3 areas are now permitted to accommodate home spectators up to 15% of their capacity, in line with Stage 1 of the FA's respective guidelines for the National League system. So there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but they do go on to say a little bit further on the press release. It's extremely important that spectators remain in their households or social bubble in groups of 6, which is obviously a little bit of a change from the groups of 6 which would be in Tier 2 or even Tier 1 if you're watching football.
Yeah, it's still a little bit confusing, these rules, isn't it? And the different areas, you've got to stay within the different guidelines, and so long as people interpret it the right way and stick to those rules, and like you say, those groups of 6, then hopefully we might get some sort of result. I think the leagues are going to take another vote this weekend and decide, but I think it might still depend on if these clubs, if they can have that clubhouse open and whether they're willing to accept a 15% of their given capacity that they can have as paying customers through the gate without there being any bars or anything like that open.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. I mean, we were at a game which we'll tell you about on Saturday, where the clubhouse was open at Hartford. They agreed it with the local authority. They gave you a ticket if you want to go in, and everything was done very, very well. But I don't know why that can't get across to the whole of non-league football. Hey, we're achieving this, so can't the local authorities do all talk to each other? Can't they all get together and just agree a standard? Because if you can do it at Hartford, surely you can do it anywhere.
Yeah, I think it depends on what way they've got it running. I was speaking to the guys at Hartford after the game, and they actually had someone come down from the council. He'd been there before and seen how they run things with the one-way system that they've got going into the clubhouse and out of the clubhouse. And they said they was perfectly happy with how they handled things before and allowed them to open the bar on Saturday. So I think it depends on how these different clubs are running it, and if they've got two, a way in and a way out that are separate from each other.
Yeah, sure. Again, this one will run and run. We'll keep an eye on it and keep our fingers crossed big time that hopefully league football will return in the new year. Let's tell you about some of the football that has taken place, though, and let's wind the clock back to Tuesday, the 8th of December. The FA Trophy first round finished Welwyn Garden City 3, Hednesford Town 1, and it was quiet night at the Utilita. As they get us underway, kicking from right to left. We're up the gantry, right on the halfway line with a perfect view. Turning on the edge of that box was number 7, Jed Davis, but Welwyn Garden City getting in the way of that. Davis gets it back, looks for Flanagan. Here's Flanagan going through, and the ball's in the back of the net. And scored by Anthony Dwyer. Welwyn Garden City undone down their left-hand side. 9 minutes on the watch. Citizens 0. Hednesford 1, and that was just too easy, wasn't it? Yeah, 3 rounds in about 10 days as George Ironton goes through on the edge of the area. He's got to put it left. He hasn't done it. Oh, Elliot Bailey was absolutely clean through. George didn't see him, and that is a big chance gone begging. Ironton's ball this time for Robbie Buchanan, right-hand side. Can he keep it in? He does. Buchanan again. This time he goes round Carter onto the left boot. It's Kanoshi. It's 1-1. Super build-up. Robbie Buchanan involved, that's what he could do, and Jordan Kanoshi comes in from the left wing and buries his 3rd FA Trophy game, and we're right back level. Turning away is Davis, trying to go down the line. Davis has gone down the line. Johnny Sexton's still there. Davis has still got the ball. He's in the area, fires it in, comes off the goalpost. Such an oblique angle. Carter looked as if he was going to have a shot. He does over the top of the crossbar. And my word, how did Davis get that ball in there to hit the post? That's a blow for Welwyn Garden City. Ryan Doherty goes off. And on comes Patrick Tiscala after 33 minutes. Mensa's throw into the box. Well controlled by George Ironton. Turns well. Far post. Here's Kanoshi. He's done it again. George Ironton turned it across. Nobody picked up Jordan Kanoshi. And he's done it yet again. 2 against Hayward Heath at the start of the journey. And 2 against Hednesford Town in the first round proper. Welwyn Garden City have come from behind here to lead 2-1. Davis fires in another shot. Oh, saved by Charlie Crowley, and a brilliant block by Carl Mensah as Dwyer looked to make it 2-2. Possession, far side. Mendes-Jones will bring in Flanagan, but that's going to be the final action of the first half here, which saw Welwyn Garden City go behind to a goal after just 9 minutes. But a Jordan Kanoshi double has put them in the driving seat, a lead 2-1. Buchanan for Cayley-side. Cayley-side's ball has got Elliot Bailey in here. Right-hand side of the box. Elliot Bailey shot is in the back of the net. What a finish! 3-1 to the Citizens. And Elliot Bailey has set the Utilita alight. What a finish!
That was absolutely cracking shot. He's deserved that goal, Pete. I think he's worked hard tonight, and there's a couple of chances haven't quite fallen to him, where he could have been put through. But fantastic effort.
Forward, looking for Dwyer. Dwyer's layoff is a good one this time to Lewis Dodds. Lewis Dodds looks for Dwyer. Dwyer goes down, but an absolute half-hearted attempt at a penalty, and surely he's going to get a yellow card for that, is he?
It certainly looks that way, Pete. Yeah, that was a terrible dive. And the ref's pulling his card out of his pocket for him.
And Welwyn Garden City, an attempt to get it clear. Unlucky with the bounce, but Mensah's there. He's been shrugged aside. Shot comes in. Great save by Charlie Crowley. Shot came in from Turner, and Crowley turned it away. Oh, here's George Ironton trying to give Hednesford something else to talk about. Good corner comes across. Robbie Buchanan hit off the line. Griffiths hit it off the line from Robbie Buchanan. Wow. Robbie Buchanan almost scored with his head. That would have been a collector's item on the edge of his own area. And that is going to be it. A famous night at the Utilita Stadium sees Welwyn Garden City into the second round of the FA Trophy for the first time in their history. They went 1-0 down after 9 minutes, but came storming back to lead 2-1 at half-time thanks to a double from Jordan Kanoshi and then a real peach from Elliot Bailey right at the beginning of the second half, sealed the victory, and a real famous night to say you were there at the Utilita. and the citizens hit the second round of the FA Trophy.
Nicky, congratulations, fantastic result.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, the boys were remarkable tonight. Had a plan again, stuck to it. Everything we worked on in our 2 training sessions has come to fruition. Obviously, we're not as fit as we should be, so it went against a little bit at the end. But 3 goals we got was superb, obviously against, and they're a good side as well. So don't take nothing away from them. They're a good side, but these boys don't know when they're beaten.
Yeah, I mean, you went 1-0 down. It didn't faze you at all, did it?
No, I was a bit disappointed. I think we gave them a little bit too much respect at the beginning, and they bopped it about quite well. We lost our shape a little bit in the middle of the park. So I just said to him, try and get on your front foot a little bit more. Then we started getting hold of the ball. George nicked quite a lot of the balls going forward, set us up again, and then we looked to play our own way, and we done well.
Yeah, I mean, first off, they had a couple of other chances, hit the bar, and Carl cleared one off the line as well.
Yeah, Carl Mentz immense today, man of the match, unbelievable performance today, unbelievable. And at the end, they're all just running on empty the last 10, 15 minutes. We had a few injuries as well. Obviously, a few of the under-23 boys played tonight, so well done to them. But some of the individual performances were magnificent today.
Yeah, and you say injuries, a couple of the players play off. Was that little niggles they had?
Yeah, George has been struggling with a calf, but again he gave me 80 minutes and done superb. DK wasn't 100% fit. In fact, we had Lee Close, Elliot Bailey, Charlie Payne, all them were all struggling, so I had to make a few decisions, but they give me everything, so I can't complain. That's
it. I mean, you've got the next round of the cup being drawn tomorrow. Yeah, and the next round is next week, this time next week.
Yep. It's if we can get 11 players out. that's the hard thing. It's been hard with this month's break because we actually haven't trained. I have heard there's been 1 or 2 teams that have been training, but we haven't. So we've had just one session, and then we played Wingate Finchley on Saturday. And offensively, we done very well. Defensively, we were poor, but obviously we put that behind us tonight and got back to what we're about. We don't concede many goals.
And will you be looking for a friendly on Saturday?
Well, they can't walk at the moment after the players, so I'll probably have them stretched on Thursday, and then we'll see what happens on Saturday. Maybe 1 or 2 of them can have half the games, but just really want to get 11 out for next Tuesday, whoever we play, and take it from there, really.
That's it. Well, we'll keep an eye on the draw when it's made, and good luck for next week.
You're now our lucky mascots, aren't you two? You couldn't win a game before, but now we can't lose, here you come.
That's it. It's the new 90 Minutes Live. We've started off well.
Magnificent, you boys, yeah. It's great. I mean, the club, it's the first they've ever got. And obviously the revenue is brilliant for us because it's been hard with the clubhouse not opened as well, so everything bodes well. We just obviously we've got 4 or 5 players out again, so the squad's been great, so we just get on with it and see where it takes us.
That's it. It sounds like the celebrations are going in.
You
go in and join them.
Yeah, it wasn't like a celebration about at Horsham, but as I said to him, even though they're a league higher, we've got, I think, in my personal opinion, we've got 3 or 4 players who could play step 2 out this side, and we've got a very, very low budget. So they're all here for the right reasons to play football, play with their mates, and, they're just loyal, and I can't ask any more of them, really. I'm a bit hard on them at times, but, you've got to give them credit where credit's due. They worked their socks off tonight. It was unreal.
That's it. And one last thing, obviously, we like a stat. You gave us a little stat when you came out. Do you want to tell everyone what that was?
Yeah, we played 7 step 3 sides. We haven't lost one yet, so that bodes well. We'll probably get a step 3 side again, but maybe I'll come on step next time. But look, if they just give me that effort for 90 minutes, whatever happens, and they're a good outfit. I mean, they're in the conference 4 years ago, so it just puts us. I mean, we've come from sort of nowhere, but I know when I put them 11 players out, whoever plays, they give me 100%, and that's all I ask for. And the bit of quality we got, I mean, the first 2 goals that George made were superb, and Jordan at the back post finishing what we've been asking him to do. We're working on him, so hopefully he'll get his fitness as well. So I'm just delighted, really.
That's it. Well, once again, congratulations. And,
citizens.
We'll see you in the next round.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Excellent evening. Wellingham City through to the second round, and so it really was one of those nights to say we were there.
Oh, it was, yeah. It's absolutely fantastic. Really good atmosphere. When it weren't at the races, Nicky admitted to us, for the first, 10, 15 minutes. But, I mean, Pete, they went a goal down and that sprung them into life, didn't it?
Oh, the reaction was amazing, wasn't it? I mean, when the early goal went in, I must admit, people were looking around thinking, oh, this team have won this trophy. They're from a higher level. But suddenly, I mean, Citizens dug in and, they deserved it. They were the better team on the night, without a shadow of a doubt. For us on 90 Minutes Live, thank you so much for everybody that listened. We had record listening figures, which was great to hear. I know we had a lot of Ensford fans listening, got mentioned on their fans forum as well. And, it was just such a good performance. And once again, I mean, Nicky's record, as he just alluded to, against Step 3 sides is second to none.
Yeah, fantastic record. And, obviously their next tie, which we'll tell you about in a bit, that's against the Step 4 side. But, I mean, I know he said that, he wouldn't have been bothered about facing the Step 3 side at all. With that record, it's great. And it's great for him to come out with a stat. He knows we like our stats. So thanks to Nicky for that one.
Yeah, he also comes out with lots of good tweets as well. Nicky's tweet on the night: words can't describe how I feel tonight. A 3-1 win against another Step 3 side. These Wellingham City boys don't know when they're beaten. And Ricky Crace took to Twitter as well. Well, the month off was worth the wait. To a man, every player was outstanding tonight. Deserved everything they got. Into the hat. And into the hat they did go, along with Bedford Town, Coleshill and St Neots, by the way, from the same division, proving that, that's Southern League Division 1 Central, a very competitive league. Yeah,
I mean, we've said the same thing before, haven't we? And it's great to see that there are teams from that level that are progressing and, making progress in the Cup.
Yeah, Citizens, one of 15 Step 4 teams still left in the competition. Second round sees the entry of National League North and South sides. The National League sides come in the third round. When going to say, finance, all about finance. We talked to Dave Coates a couple of weeks ago, and they're now guaranteed £8,700, no matter what happens on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic for the club, isn't it? They need that money. I mean, it was £3,000 prize money from Tuesday night's game, and see what happens, tomorrow night. And if they can, get that, obviously, the winners and the losers get prize money, but hopefully they can get that winning pot and add to the total that they've made so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's talk about it now. I mean, the draw has drawn them against Burgess Hill Town tomorrow evening. Burgess Hill Town from the Isthmian League South, Division 1. And Burgess Hill Town were the team that went through because Margate had to default because of COVID problems. But they have not Ware and the Harrow Borough out of the competition, though despite the fact they're bottom of the league. I mean, this is a whole new mindset now for the Citizens, isn't it? I mean, they've gone into the games, particularly against Horsham and Hensford as underdogs. Suddenly tomorrow night they're going into a game as favourites.
Yeah, they will be favourites, Pete. And it's going to be tough. Burgess Hill, I mean, they've recently changed their manager, brought in a few new players as well. So it's going to perhaps be a different side that sort of them face Ware. But I'm sure Nicky or Ricky will have given Paul Halsey a bell and getting his view on the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive incentive for both teams because whoever wins is at home to National League now, but formerly Club Aldershot.
Yeah, and of course we got another tie-in with another one of our local managers there, haven't we? Because of course Ben Hurd used to play for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be looking forward to that tomorrow night at the Utilita, 90 Minutes Live. Watch out for all the details on Twitter. Okay, let's go not so far back, just to Saturday and have a look at what happened then in the action. In the Essex Senior League, finished Clapton 1, St Margaret's-Bury 2, although this one was actually played at the Recreation Ground, although Clapton were still nominally the home side. It was an early double from Ricardo Adewui, which put the Berry in the box seat. Clapton, though, made a nail-biting finish after Corny Homan scored on his debut. But got to say, I mean, whatever Coach Ray did during lockdown, 100% record since they've come back.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, good 1-0 results against Enfield last week. 2-1 victory on Saturday. and it was needed because they was heading towards the bottom of the table a little bit, and needed to pick up a couple of wins. But I mean, we said before, Pete, didn't we? They did have a tough run of fixtures before, but now they've started to play some of them teams around them, picked up 2 victories.
Yeah, and it's always important, isn't it, to pick up those victories against your rivals in that little league of teams around them. So they certainly did that against Clapton. At Bishop Stortford, it finished Enfield 1, Hoddesdon Town 0. Lily White's beaten by another late goal. Alex Warman notching the winner 8 minutes from time. Hoddesdon had plenty of chances, though, before that. Aidan Critchley at the crossbar. Cyrus Baby had his 15th minute effort cleared off the line. And Enfield keeper Sam Souter saved well from Blue Gallagher and Garden Campbell. Home side got stronger as the match went on. Deadlock broken when Lewis Johnson's shot rebounded to Alex Warman, who buried it to secure the 3 points. And talking of how St Margaret's we have fun since lockdown, it's just been frustration upon frustration for Simon Riddle and Hoddesdon.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, another late goal there, and they seem to be in a habit lately, the last couple of games, didn't they, of conceding these late goals. And despite from what it sounds like, they are having the upper hand, they're not just finding the net at the moment, are they?
Yeah, and it's strange for a team that couldn't stop scoring at the beginning of the season, wasn't it? And that's the fourth time now this season that they've drawn a blank. And just, the goals somehow seem to have dried up, which is, frustrating for everybody. And, hopefully, shortly, they can put it right with, they've got a fair run of fixtures to come up as well into the new year. Also finished, #United 1, Sawbridgeworth Town 0. Chris Newby's 30-yarder a minute before half-time was enough to give the league leaders the points. Robbins, though, were in the game until the end, putting in a much improved performance, which had Sawbridgeworth Town on Twitter saying, our Robbins were unlucky today not to come away with a point after chances and a decent performance. So better performance, but statistics don't lie. Still 1 win in 12 now.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's been difficult for them since that good run that they had at the start of the season. But it sounds like it was an encouraging performance for them and something for them to take some positivity out, going into their next games. And I think they had a few new players as well, didn't they, Pete?
Yeah, they have signed a few. And I think that 1 win in 12, by the way, the bad run started against #United when they lost 4-2. So we can only hope that they bookended that and that another good run will start after another defeat by the league leaders. # lead the table, played 12-31. Stansted are in second, played 15-29. They won 1-0 at Southend Manor. Cockfosters third, played 11-26. 4-0 win for them against Sporting Bengal. Walthamstow fourth, played 11-24. They beat Redbridge 2-1. Saffron Walden were the team in the top 5 to miss out. They played 15, 23 points, could only draw with Ilford. Hoddesdon hanging on in 6th, played 13-19. And Hadley had a game postponed at Takeley, which means they've still only played 7 games and got 18 points. So they've now got 5 games in hand on the leaders. And would you believe it? They've got 8 games in the hand on second place Stansted, and they're 11 points behind them. I mean, the problem's going to be for Hadley is fitting all these games in, I think.
That's it, yeah, fitting them in and getting them played. And, like we've said before, avoiding injuries, avoiding tiredness and that for the players as well. So, there might be a lot of squad rotation going on there and we'll wait and see how that affects them.
Yeah, they're still in the FA Vase, of course, which will rob them of a few more league fixtures as well. Going further down the table, St Margaret's beat 14, played 11-12. Sawbridgeworth 15th, played 14-12. And at the bottom of the table, Woodford are off the bottom. Woodford played 13, 4 points because they got a point, drew 3-3 at West Essex on Friday night. Clapton, who lost to St Margaret's, dropped to the bottom, played 11 and 4 points. A couple of friendlies involving our Step 4 teams. We were at the Park to watch Hertford Town 1, Hendon 4. Good run out of Hertford's youngsters against a really experienced Hendon lineup. Blues found themselves 2-0 down after only 12 minutes to goals from Jaden Clark and Sean Lucian, but battled back into the match. Sam Fanian's strong run causing panic in the Hendon defence, resulting in Serge Askelan slotting home. Hendon restored a 2-goal advantage in controversial fashion run on half-time. Ben Hurd and Liam Brooks went down in the box. Everyone stopped expecting a Hartford free kick, except Jaden Clark, who curled the ball into the net. The goal, much to the home fans' amazement, stood, giving the visitors a 3-1 lead. Second half was disrupted, probably as expected, by substitutions. Eddie Ashodi scoring the only goal, stabbing home Tommy Smith's header from Luca Allinson's corner. And the match sadly being brought to a premature end with a couple of minutes to go after a serious injury to Hendon's Kai Nicholas. And we, of course, wish him a speedy recovery. Because, that was horrible to watch, wasn't it? Because, really nasty injury.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant at all, Pete. You could see how much he was struggling. You could see on the faces of the players the concern for them. And of course, we wish Kai a speedy recovery, and hopefully, we'll see him on the pitch again very soon.
Yeah, and also some very complimentary things sent by Hendon on Twitter about the way Hartford organised things, which was nice. And certainly we wish Hendon well for the rest of the season. In Essex, finished Heybridge Swifts 1, Ware 2. Penalties from Liam Hope and Chris Arthur giving Ware the win, with a virtually full-strength lineup, including the fit again Liam Hope and Albert Adu, but still missing Callum Kitchker with Ethan Gannon in goal, with a whole 17-man squad getting an outing. Very much a training affair, but still decent win against a decent side.
Yeah, that's it. And like you say, nice to see a couple of those injured players back in the team and back on the score sheet as well, which that's going to help the confidence as well for them, isn't it?
Certainly will. Let's go into the Hart Senior County League, where in the Premier Division it finished Bush Hill Rangers 3, Coney Heath Reserves 1, John Cush, Raheem Stewart and Karim Ishmael on target for the Rangers, who did well to overcome Coney Heath Reserves because it went down to 10 men, with Sally Bessim red-carded. Finished Hoddesdon Town Reserves 0, Welling Garden City Under-23s 1. Harrison Cage got the penalty. Good week for him, of course. Made his FA Trophy debut on Tuesday night for Welling Garden City and scored the penalty there that beat his old club. And also finished Ware Sports 2, Letchworth Garden City Eagles 2. Good run for Ware Sports now, 1 defeat in their last 7. Top of the table, Wingate and Finchley Development played 10-23 points. From Bellstone, played 8-21. They won 1-0 at Chipperfield Corinthians. Royston Town Reserves are down to third. They've played 11-21 points. They lost 1-0 at Harefield United Reserves. Bush Hill Rangers up to fourth, played 11-19 points. Ware Sports are in ninth, played 10-12. In Division 1, Buntingford's game at home to Tring Athletic Reserves was off due to a waterlogged pitch. Good win for Standard and Buckridge, though, who bounced back from last week's defeat against Buntingford to win 1-0 at league leaders Oracle Components. And it also finished Wheat Hampstead Wanderers 2, Hertford Heath 2, Martin Durkin and Mark McKelliott, the goal scorers for the Heath. Table, Oracle Components still lead, played 10-24. Oxley second, played 11-22. Hatfield United played 9-21 in third. Standard and Buckridge up to 6, played 8-14 points. In Division 2, finished Tringtown 1, Ware Sports Reserves 0. Tringtown head the table, played 10-21. Hemel Hempstead Rovers played 8-20. Hadley Saturday Vets played 10-19. Welcome back to the Hertford and District League, and I'll tell you what, the Hertford and District League bounced back with an absolute deluge of goals. In the Centenary Trophy, the meeting of the Trinities ended Bengio Trinity 5, Ware Trinity 3 after extra time. Alex Cluner got a hat-trick for Bengio. Luke Maskell got the other 2, where it's Adam Block, Alex Wood and an own goal for Ware Trinity. Not to be outdone in the Premier Division, finished Westmill 8, Allenbridge 0. Oliver Totally with a hat-trick. Louis Debenham got a couple, taking his season tally to 9. Callum Falk, Matthew Moore and Oliver Brook got the others. Top of the table are Mill Lane, played 8, 19 points, but Westmill are unbeaten in the league so far this season, are in second, played just 6, 16 points. More goals in Division 1, where it finished Hertford Heath Reserves 8, Elizabeth Allen Old Boys 1, Nading 1, Albury 4. Henry Branston got a couple, 8 for him so far this season. Oliver Bias and John Ross Perrin got the other 2. And Watton at Stone. Well, this is the team to watch if you want goals. 21 goals in the last 4 games. They beat Icklesford 5-1. Nathan Hall, Max Saunders, Ben Walker, George Williams and Asa Common were the goal scorers. Hertford Heath still head the table. Hertford Heath Reserves played 7-18. Shearing second, played 6-15. Watton at Stone up to third, played 6-10 points. In Division 2, finished Mangrove 2, Hertford Heath A1. Harry Fletcher and a Gavin Dennis penalty for the Grove. Tom Kay scoring for Hertford Heath A. And it was Stockfold Junior Town Reserve 6, Bullies Crusaders 3. The Windnote takes unbeaten Mangrove top of the table. They played 17 points. Waltham Abbey A are in second, played 16 points. Nothing doing for Roydon in Essex Olympian League Division 5. Their game against Springfield Reserves was postponed. Shoebury Town Reserves still had the table there, played 6-13. From Waker in Sports A, played 6-13. But I'll tell you what, how about this for a competitive league? The top 8 in the table are separated by just 2 points. In hockey, in Eastern Region Division 3 Southwest, finished Welwyn Garden City 4, Luton 0. Good win this for Welwyn Garden City. Creighton Napoleon, Dave Allen-Smith, Lee Tickner and Mark Skilbeck were the goal scorers. Letchworth 2 still ahead the table, played 7-18 points. They won 6-0 at Cheshunt. Royston in second, played 7-15. Welwyn Garden City up to fourth, played 8-14. Not such good luck for the ladies, though, in Eastern Region Division 2 Southwest, where it finished Hertford 1, Brentwood 2. Top of the table are Blue Hearts. They played 18 points. There was a 0-0 draw between the top 2. Crosssticks are second, played 8-17. Hertford still bottom, played 6-1 points. So that's rare, I think, a 0-0 draw in hockey. Nothing doing in basketball because news came that the Women's Basketball League Championship opener between the Oakland Wolves and Leicester Riders has been rescheduled until early in the new year. So the Oakland Wolves will start their campaign in 2021. So absolute ton full of goals in the Hertford District League and a 0-0 draw in hockey. It was all going on.
It certainly sounds it. And I mean, I noticed all those goals in the Hertford District. And like you say, it's come back with an absolute bang, hasn't it?
It certainly has, and I think Westmill and Watton at Stone, if I get a break and a chance to go and watch a couple of teams, then I think those two are definitely on the list.
It certainly sounds like it. You know, like you said, you want the action. They're the places to go, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it is. I think, if memory serves me correct, before lockdown, they had their first goalless draw since February in the whole league, I think. So I think it's definitely the place to go if you want to see goals. A little bit of football news came in the week. Congratulations to Charlie Crowley, Welwyn Garden City goalkeeper, who was named their Player of the Month for October. Performed those heroics, of course, against Horsham in the FA Trophy. Made a couple of decent saves against Ensford last Tuesday as well, and just congratulations. I think probably the Player of the Month for November, no disrespect to Charlie, is going to be very difficult because there's been some great performances.
Yeah, there have, hasn't there? You know, we know Jordan Kanoshi, Carl Mensah, Lee Close, Charlie himself. You know, there's been so many players for them to choose from. I think that's going to be a very difficult choice for the committee to choose just one of them.
Yeah, most definitely. And, in the rating for goal of the season's got to be Elliot Bailey's goal against Ensford as well, which I know my mate Chris White caught on Twitter. So have a look at Chris's Twitter page and you will see just how good that Elliot Bailey goal was. Salisbury's, as we alluded to earlier, have made a few signings. They've signed Callum Taylor, talking of Welwyn Garden City. He's on a dual registration from East Thurrock. He played for the Citizens last season and was fairly regular in the starting lineup as well. So he's a decent signing. They've signed experienced striker Alex Salmon, who's formerly from Basildon United, and a couple of youngsters have joined as well, Teddy Hall and Morgan Arnold. So still, Lee Maitland trying to get it right, bringing those players in. But, Callum Taylor, that is a good quality of player to sign in the Essex Senior League.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully, he'll get in the squad, he'll settle in, encourage them, give them a bit of confidence, and we'll see that upturn in results that we spoke about earlier.
And another bit of news this week, the Trident Community Foundation, designed to provide financial support to non-league clubs, has announced that the Trident Foundation has donated $150,000 to establish the Trident Community Foundation Fund for distribution to non-league football clubs over the rest of the 2021 season. The aim is to support, develop and improve the delivery of community programs at football clubs and they help fund small and medium-sized projects. Foundation's vision is to create a strong, sustainable community program that will help clubs develop young talent, promote non-league football to a wider audience and attract volunteers to Trident League clubs. The application process has been kept simple, provide the best opportunity for clubs to obtain funding. No project will be too small. In the first year, the maximum grant will be capped at £5,000. This could increase in the future should the fund increase itself. So positive news. And, this news that we've got the Isthmian, Northern Premier and Southern Leagues actually forming a body together, which it's got to be good for non-league football because it's going to give them, in simple terms, a bit more clout, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely. I think so. I mean, it seems strange that it's been brought about by COVID and it's taken that to sort of, make them come together. But like you say, hopefully they'll be stronger for it and have a bit more of a say on things as well.
Yeah, and I think probably it's all to do with the joint sponsorship as well, because obviously, Bitchin Inn sponsor the Isthmian, the Northern Premier and the Southern. So when you've got the same sponsor, it's a lot easier to join things together cohesively with the three leagues. So and on the committee, is under the independent chairmanship of David Emery, who's the editor of the non-league paper. Then you've got Nick Robinson from the Isthmian League, Mark Harris from the Northern Premier League, and Andy Hughes from the Southern League. So, I just can only see it as being a positive thing.
Yeah, definitely. We know four heads are better than one. And maybe that's how this came about. Maybe the one sponsor for the three leagues was with this in mind, for them all clubbing together and, pitching the same ideas and running things as one sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's another step forward. I mean, COVID's been a horrible time for everybody, but I think it has opened the door a little bit in terms of people realising how important non-league football is in terms of community basis, drawing communities together, and let's not forget these are community clubs. We go to Welwyn Garden City, we go to Hertford, we go to Ware, we meet people from the local area. We make friends from people from the local area, and it draws a community together. If your team does well, as Welwyn Garden City are doing at the moment, then the community really take notice, don't they?
Yeah, of course they do. Any publicity they can get that way, good performances on the pitch, like you say, draw more of that community to come into the football club. Word spreads. Hopefully, people will come again and see how they're doing. Be impressed with the way they're handling things at the moment as well. That will give people confidence to return in these sort of situations as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, certainly. I think, maybe non-league football clubs, but, I've seen nothing but a professional attitude from all the clubs we visited in terms of, unprecedented times. I think they've done stepped up to the mark and done an amazing job. Talking about what we saw at Hertford, we've seen it at Welwyn Garden City before lockdown, we saw it at Ware. And I think they've done amazing jobs to step up to the plate in these real unprecedented times. And I just hope that, they get the payoff at the end of all of this. There is a bit of light at the end of the tunnel now in terms of still getting the support from the community.
Yeah, I mean, as you've said before, it's something that a little bit about. But, applying all these COVID officers and the rules and that you've got to go by, and the documents, I mean, they're huge 20, 30-page documents. So for someone to go through that, apply a COVID officer, note what they've got to do, it's not an easy job to make it all run smoothly for them, is it?
Well, and not when you're a volunteer as well. You've got your day job, you've got your family, you've got your other responsibilities. I mean, I've written a COVID risk assessment. I wouldn't wish it on anyone because it's not the easiest of documents to get your head around and do, I can tell you. So, hats off to all those people at non-league football clubs that have taken on this responsibility and are doing an absolutely cracking job.
And that's it. But that's the commitment that, we see from all these volunteers and these committee members, isn't it? And, without them, let's remember, we wouldn't have our clubs available, would we? It's the people that like that keep these clubs running.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hats off to all the volunteers. I mean, the people on the gate. Absolutely everybody who's involved because they do it all for the love of the game, and that's why we love our non-league football. And that's why it's so important to us, really, to get it back. And fingers crossed. In January, we will do so. We have been following Britain's worst football team, of course, and anyhow, Stoke Gabriel from the Southwest Peninsula Premier League. I'm glad I don't commentate on that every week. I've been getting on, and sadly, not another good result for the boys on Saturday. They went down 8-0 at Ivy Bridge, which means they've lost all 17 games this season and have a goal difference now of minus 196. And if that wasn't made worse by the fact they're now 7 points adrift because second from bottom, Axminster Town picked up a point at home to Crediton United. Axminster has something to do with carpets, isn't it? But anyway, they picked up a point at home to Crediton United. So sadly, Stoke Gabriel are 7 points adrift at the bottom of the table now.
Yeah, I mean, it's another result that's gone against them, isn't it? But I mean, they do it in the right way, don't they? They're always very positive, like we've said before. They're always saying their results on Twitter and keeping people updated. And yeah, like we've said, they've gained a bit of a following from what I understand as well. So I think a positive's come out of this negative, hasn't it, for them?
Yeah, most definitely. They've gained our following. If anybody's wondering, we are not just going to report this when they're losing, okay? When they start winning, we're going to be right on it as well. And, we're going to be reporting the successes for the guys down there. And we will certainly tweet them a success message for the first point they get this season. No doubt about that.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully that will be sooner rather than later. There was some other news I saw, Pete, from the women's football. I did see that Stevenage Women, they've announced a new sponsor, and it tied in with their men's team. So they're their first team in the Women's National League, and they've got a development team that are in the Eastern region, which is the same league as Watson Park Ladies. So the men are sponsored by Burger King. There was a big thing about that with a FIFA challenge as well. So they got a lot of recognition from that and gained a lot of fans from it as well. But there's been a discussion between the ladies' side, the men's side, and the men's team sponsor. And they've now got a new sponsor that is on their shirts, which is Burger Queen. There's been a whole lot of advertising about this. And, there is the Burger King store opposite the Lamex Stadium, as, many people that have been there will know. And that has actually been rebranded as Burger Queen, Pete. I mean, it's fantastic. And from what I've heard and from what I saw as well, apparently it's on the same deal as the men's team. So, I mean, that's going to be an absolutely fantastic sponsorship for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing a sponsorship deal if they've got it the same as a Football League team, which, of course, Stevenage are at the moment. Not going too well for them at the moment, is it? But hopefully the sponsorship deal will improve things for them in 2021. And, yeah, it's great. I mean, another sponsorship deal. I suppose we could have a little chat about healthy eating, but let's not go there. I mean, it's, good idea.
Yeah, it's more recognition for the women's game as well, because obviously it made it into a lot of national press and things like that. So it's something that again brings it to the forefront of people's minds, I think.
Absolutely. You're talking about bringing it to the forefront of people's minds. We've got Jamie Southwell coming up after, we better get the referee here. She's not eating the burger. It's okay. Time to sound the whistle.
Right, well, welcome back from that break, and we're now joined by Jamie Southwell, the Bury Rangers girls chairman and manager of the new women's team as well. Jamie, thanks for coming on 90 Minutes. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, thanks, Simon and Pete. Yeah, thanks for inviting me, and looking forward to it.
Excellent. Now, I know Bury Rangers, it's a mixed club for girls and boys, and like I said, you've got the women's side as well. But I want to concentrate on the girls' side of things. And as I said in the introduction, you're the chairman of the girls' section. Can you tell us how you came about taking that role on?
Yeah, of course. I would imagine just a very familiar story. Lots of people that are involved in sports clubs generally. That both my daughters play football. Following their involvement, I got involved in one of their teams. But that evolved in getting involved in the committee. A lot of the existing committee at the time had daughters who were beginning to move on due to university and things like that, and so sort of stopped playing for the club. That required people to step up and take on those roles within the committee, and I found myself kind of plunked into the role of chairman as we were struggling to kind of find those people. But that's as things have worked out. That we've kind of got a replacement committee and it's all worked out good. But yeah, that's the story. So I've been doing it a couple of years now. But yeah, it was just due to my children's involvement, my daughter's involvement in football. Yeah.
And seeing as you're the chairman of the girls section, is it run? Obviously, it's one club, but is it run on a sort of like girls and boys basis?
Yes, so one of the things that I've tried to develop alongside the main club chairman is that they wanted to bring all the sections of the club a lot more closer together. So Bury Rangers community charter status, and so we've got a vets team, we've got walking football, we've got inclusive, so young people with disability football session, etc. And just try to they're kind of all operated in their little silos, but it was really to sort of bring them under the Bury banner a bit better, and including the girls section. So we have a separate girls committee, but that's more reflective of that we play in the girls league, which is separate to a lot of the boys playing in their own leagues, etc. So and the finances and stuff. So it's purely on that really, but we share all of our facilities and play alongside the boys at training and on match days. So we do kind of cross over and work a lot with the main committee, who are predominantly made up of sort of like boys section coaches and parents. Yeah. I mean,
obviously, like you say, you want to keep it as one club, but I think it's good that you have that separate girls committee, because you can sort of like dedicate your time and dedicate it towards their needs, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think where it is such a big club, things inevitably move at a slower pace because they've got so many more people to consider, whereas we can get on and make decisions as well and kind of meet the needs of sometimes meet the needs of our teams, the girls players, a little bit quicker, if I'm honest. So yeah, that it is helpful at times.
Yeah, I mean I first met you, I think it was about 18 months ago now. East Arts Radio came down to one of the training sessions down at Richard Hale, and that was a really busy session, wasn't it? And how have things grown since then? Because then you were sort of in the midst of the World Cup fever sort of thing. Have you gained more interest and more players since then?
I think with all that's happened, we've I guess retained those teams that we had back then, and then just added. So they've all kind of shifted up. So whoever the under 10s are now, the under 11s are probably the under 12s now, etc. And then we're just filling in behind. So we're sort of still getting younger year inquiries, girls wanting to try football, play football. So we now have our youngest team's an under 18 stroke Wildcats. And Wildcats is a kind of national scheme to provide sort of resources specifically for girls to play with girls. That's kind of like a part of the FA's drive to increase female participation in football. So that's aimed at the little ones. Yeah, so our youngest team is the under 8s, and then we've got a team at every age group, so under 9s, 10s, etc., right through to the under 18s. And then I took our under-18s into to form our women's team this year. So we've got 11 teams at the moment. And so I can see that sort of sustaining itself. Do you know? Well, actually, the only thing I think that limits probably a lot of sports clubs, particularly football, is facilities. Having the facilities to provide the opportunity for people to play football. I think that's probably one of the only barriers. Yeah,
I mean, that's it, isn't it? You say that, facilities. There's only a certain amount of pitches, or obviously you've got the AstroTurf at Richard Howe, and you can't squeeze too many teams on there, and especially now with COVID happened and stuff like that. There's some places that have shut down, so there's teams trying to get into fewer training spaces as well, isn't there?
Yeah. No, I think if sustaining our players, our teams, and then increasing it by bringing in younger ones through. And we're at capacity, so I don't think that is a problem. I mean, interestingly enough, I've had a few conversations recently with Hearts FA. The FA brought out their national plan for facilities, and then that's broken down into what that looks like in areas. So within East Hearts, that came out recently, and the priorities for the FA, etc., are to put resources into creating those additional facilities. But that's probably a couple of years down the line that we'll start seeing. They're talking about additional 3Gs in the area, better maintenance of grass pitches and things like that. So it will come, but that's going to take time. But it's nice to know that that's been identified and money's put aside for it, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we covered the same sort of thing on the show a couple of weeks ago. I mean, so you've mentioned your under-8s team, and I did see that you're looking for a level 1 coach to take them on. Are you still looking for someone, or have you had any success in appointing someone to that?
Well, do you know what? So I think due to COVID, as lots of people are aware, the FA haven't been able to deliver level 1 courses. It's a requirement that each coach or each team has a minimum of a level 1 coach. So we was in a dilemma of, due to no courses, not being able to train potentially parents or whoever adult to step up and be the coach of a new team. And so we tried to put out I suppose wider advertisement or to try and attract someone. And then a recent conversation with the new safeguarding officer at Hearts FA, she clarified that temporarily they are happy for someone to step in without their level 1, but to have their DBS and to do online safeguarding. And I can't remember the title of a new kind of online piece of learning that covers sort of a bit of an introduction to coaching in football. To get those things done, and temporarily that person can take over this team. So I think that's what I'm going to take on the under-8s, but then I'm going to get parents to take on our under-9s that I'm covering at the moment. So the under-9s can get on with it because they've got parents that are just itching to take it on and that have got their DBSs and everything. So they'll do that, and then I can take on the under-8s and temporarily cover them until we're in a place.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I was going to come to, because obviously, anyone taking over the team, they need a DBS check. But like you say, the safeguarding as well. So that's good that they're doing that online, because that's just a short evening. I think it's a couple of hours course, isn't it? So that is viable to do online. Whereas the level 1 is, I think it's about 6 or 8 weekly course, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a big commitment, isn't it? I think for someone that wants to help out, and then we're saying to them, we're expecting them to find that time within probably a busy week, whether at work and family, etc. It is a big ask, but it's for the right reasons. Yeah, but it is a big commitment.
Yeah, that's it. And of course, like you say, there's plenty of coaching modules on the FA Player. So anyone that's going to do that, there's some great videos and some great courses that you can do on there and study at home as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and like lots of people during the first lockdown, it was, I'd imagine, it was probably familiar. Just everyone was online doing all sorts of things, but equally there was loads of football stuff, webinars and stuff. Yeah, and I caught up with quite a few good things that were really brilliant.
I've recently done the same. I see some of the new videos and new sort of like tutoring things on there. So caught up with them, and I learned a good few new things as well, which is coming really handy. I think it's great that they put all that stuff on there.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more accessible, isn't it, to squeeze in an hour at home to sort of have a bit of a watch of something or be part of some learning.
That's it, because it's not always easy to get to these courses. Because I think I've done mine at Letchworth Garden City at the Hearts FA headquarters, and it's always a bit of travelling as well sometimes to get to these courses, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did my level 2 a couple of years ago, and that was even more. That was I think approximately about sort of 15 to 20 days. That was by memory. Of physically going to attend a course, and then there was stuff to do outside of the attendance at home, and then people coming out to watch you train and deliver training. And it was, I mean, for anyone that might have that time and desire to kind of improve their coaching, I totally would recommend it, because it was really good experience, but it was a massive commitment. It was just it was hard fitting it in.
And the cost of that, level 1 and the safeguarding, is that something that you as a club cover for anyone taking that on?
Yeah. So the club pays. Yeah. Club's good like that. Paid for my level 2. There's a lot of money as well. Yeah.
I remember when we spoke to you before, speaking about all these level 1s and that. Some of your girls in the older age groups, they were taking their levels 1s and helping to coach the players. How do you feel that sort of helps the younger players being coached by those more senior players, sort of thing?
I think the main thing is just having role models that look like them, rather than us dads out on the pitch coaching them. That definitely, of course, has its place. I think it's really important that they've got females that they can see who play football, and I think that's really important. So to have mums helping out around the place, be that coaching, or be involved in the wider sort of organisation, of their football is really important. So but particularly, like your question says, having older players or females that play football involved in their coaching as role models as well as coaches is really important.
Yeah, and I think it's great that they play for the same club as well, because they'll have more of a sort of vested interest in developing these younger players as well for the sake of the club, wouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think to know that, well, and then some of the women's team now and some of those players have been with us since they were 9 and 10 years old, which is amazing, really. We've got others that have gone off. We don't play at a high level. And others that are, ability-wise, are good players, and so they've gone and playing at a higher level, which is fine. But those that enjoy playing with their friends, with their community football club, etc., and staying with us, and to know that, well, if I stick with football, I can play for this club until I'm whatever age.
But that's it. I mean, if you're getting these players that are going off and playing for teams at a higher level, that's a kind of feather in the cap for the club, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's a bit frustrating at times, because you kind of invest a lot in those as people. You invest in them as people, first of all, and then you invest in them as players. And sometimes to see that coach, it can be frustrating, but you hope in the right way that can be done in a way that everyone benefits, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think the local area around here, it's really seen a growth in girls' football since I've been involved, which is about 3 years or so now, over at Ware Youth, as you know. We've expanded. We only had one team there. We've now got 4 teams. Obviously, there's Menina's. There's yourself. This particular area has seen a good growth. But there is still a lot of travelling to do for games for the girls, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I think Hertfordshire, the league in Hertfordshire, the Hertfordshire Girls Football Partnership League, is the biggest league in the UK as far as participation. So I guess not just East Herts, it's across all of our districts and boroughs in the county. There's a big football scene for females, which is great. But inevitably, and we're a big county, aren't we? We're right over on the east side of the county. We're often travelling, aren't we, over the west, or Hemel and Watford and those places. So it is a bit of travelling, like you say.
That's it. I mean, I think we've had a couple of games, like you say, Watford, The furthest we've been to is Ruislip, which was a huge journey. Which is a shame because you don't get that so much in boys football, do you? These long journeys.
No, you're right. No, the Mid-Arts Rural Minor League was sort of down to Cheshunt, and maybe we were the furthest north team you play. Yeah. But you're right. And the Girls League sometimes has those teams that that apply to come into play in the Hertfordshire League because it's a well-respected league. So you do get the teams from the surrounding counties or North London.
Yeah, and the league changed things this year because there was some new teams that applied to be in it, but they can't have teams in it that trial players, can they? That was a new rule brought in for this season.
Yeah, I wasn't too aware of it, but you're right. There has been a little bit of controversy around a couple of teams that weren't that welcome because of whatever reason, and they were from North London way. I think you're right. Yeah, they're beginning to try and tighten things up.
Yeah, I think it makes a little bit fairer for the girls. If there are these teams, trialing players, then obviously they're going to have stronger teams, and you don't want sort of these girls playing these teams that are trialing players and getting a heavy defeat every week, I guess.
No, it's not. Most of the league on the whole is run for the girls to play football, and you don't want that disheartening experience week on week. So I think they organise it really well, and on the whole, it's where there's that growth in the amount of teams, they are able to kind of put it a bit more on ability. So you're in a league where you're of an equal ability wise to most teams. So the results are relatively close and the games are relatively close.
Yeah. I mean, because obviously, up to under 12s, it's all non-competitive. There's no results published or anything like that. Then it goes competitive. How have you found in that sort of situation to change the mindset of the girls that right now it's about the results, now it's about how you do, whereas before you're telling them it doesn't matter about the results, it's all about the most important thing is you enjoying yourselves?
I don't think that's the case. I think you're driven by your kind of values and beliefs, really, your kind of football philosophy, and of course that's influenced by your club's ethos. And Berry Rangers is very much about making sure you're enjoying playing football. You're enjoying your involvement in a sport that's played in your local community. So I think those values are very much still the same. They don't really alter because it's now competitive. I think when you're young, you still play to win, and you train your girls that you want them to win. But ultimately, that's not the be all and end all. I see football locally as we're contributing to the development of our young people to grow on and be, good adults, if you like. And we're doing our little bit. Football does its little bit to contribute to that, to our society. And I still see that. That's a really important part of my role. So competitive football, those competitive age groups, I don't think it changes a huge deal for me. I still want those girls to go out and enjoy. It's still very much about me helping them develop their relationships with each other, to develop things like confidence, to say I've got a couple of women over the last few months that said, I want to try football. We're the sort of club that can say, where I know that they've gone to other clubs and say, unfortunately, you can't fit in here, you don't fit in here. So I see that's our role of being quite inclusive and and I think if you're lucky enough to have the resources as well and the commitment from players, and you can still focus on the development of them as players and as a team, so that you can still be competitive, but still retaining those values of like you rightly say, football's for us to have fun ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, none of them like losing, do they? But you saying about the women's. I want to come on to the women's team. When was it decided that you was going to set up and apply to the Beds and Hearts League to start a women's team?
I think so my daughter plays in that team, and as they were, sort of hitting the under. Well, Berry's had quite a big female sections for years now, and has always had the teams that have reached under 18, but they've kind of gone elsewhere. So I don't know. A few years ago, one formed Harlow Ladies, and then one was taken that went to Pro Directs, who are now Arts Vipers. They were our older Bury teams, and I thought, no, Bury need a women's team. Why haven't Bury got a women's team? It was weird that they went elsewhere. I think that might have been a bit politics at the time, but so yeah, it just felt natural to take my team and for our team, my team, to be that team that transitions into adult football. I made the decision. They were effectively last year an under-17 team playing in the under-18 league, and but I made the decision to do it then, before some of them would go off to university and I'd lose loads, so I could get the team established and then begin to build on that base. So if this year's a bit of a kind of seeing how it all works out and just kind of getting it set up, and then we've got a current under-18 team, and hopefully next year they'll all come into the women's team, those that still want to continue with football, etc. Yeah, so hopefully we'll have a women's team, adult team that can be continually sort of fed into by our younger teams.
Yeah, I mean that obviously made it easier. Rather than starting from scratch, you had a base of a team there, and you obviously applied to the Beds and Hearts League, and they've restructured that, because last season they had 3 divisions, didn't they? And obviously there was a few new teams applied for it, and they've stretched it to 4 divisions now. Yeah.
So we're in the 3rd division of the 4 leagues. So there's like a Premier, First, Second, and Third, and I think there's. I should know. I think there's 8 of us. I think there's broadly about 8 teams in each of those leagues.
Yeah, there's 9 in the first 3, and then 8 in yours. I think there is. I mean, do you have many other players?
It's good.
Come from elsewhere at all, and some players that hadn't played before or hadn't played for a little while and wanting to get back into football.
Yeah, very much how you've just explained it. So we lost a lot. We lost quite a chunk of our under-18s. That some just packed up football altogether, and a couple for other reasons. And then we've had sort of a good handful that have joined us. A couple that have played before. One was an old Bury player, and then a couple of women that haven't played. Well, one played when she was younger and is coming back to it. Yeah, and one that picked up futsal at university and then wants to play in an 11-a-side game. It's quite interesting. We've got their own little stories, which is nice. But so they're kind of a few older players that have joined our relatively sort of younger team. Yeah.
And where are you playing your home games?
Predominantly Presdale's. Yeah, so Presdale's playing fields out is one of our sort of home grounds. We've had a couple of games at Richard Howe as well on the Astro, which is nice. Yeah.
And how well has the team gelled with these new players? Have they settled in really well and been made welcome by the players you had there already?
Yeah, definitely. The transition was a bit tough in some ways, because we did need some additional players, and so we had a group of women that were a bit older. They were sort of mid-20s to early 30s, looking for a club, but they were around teenagers really, and it didn't work out, and then that's fine, because ultimately you've got to build a relationship with your teammates, and the social side of it is really important. And so they saw their football elsewhere, but I don't blame them at all. So kind of getting some additional players in that could also see themselves around younger ones was tough, but we're kind of getting there. Yeah, so the additional players that came in, they're sort of at the younger one of them's 20 and the others are 24, 25. But I guess that's down to those attitudes of those players, those individuals really, that have been able to gel and kind of fit in with the younger ones.
Yeah, I mean, how happy are you with how you've gone this season? I mean, I know you should have had a game yesterday that was postponed. You've had 5 games, I think. You picked up 1 victory. How pleased are you with how the season's gone so far?
Gosh, we really struggled. We really struggled due to injuries, really. So we had someone break their foot in a pre-season friendly. our captain done her ACL, so she's out for the season. Another one, sort of bad rupture of ankle ligaments. Yeah, someone's kind of struggling with their mental health, hasn't been around. So we really sort of suffered from just a bit of stuff happens in football, yeah, but a bit of misfortune with injuries. So we struggled for players, and that's probably reflected in results. We've got stuffed a couple of games recently as well. But yeah, but saying that, the attitude of the players to keep going and keep enjoying it, and their heads haven't gone down, and so I know that will change. We've got a couple of those players are beginning to come back and starting exercise and stuff like that. Yeah, so
that's it. But it's the first season in senior women's football, isn't it? And first season for a lot of these in senior women's football. So it's going to be, this season's going to be a learning curve for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very much so. Yeah. It's quite interesting. You're playing against the players are playing against adults now, but they've taken that step up pretty well. I'd say there's not many of them, maybe one or two that are still trying to adjust, still finding some of the tackles a bit intimidating because physically it is a bit different, and we're not a big team at all, so our forwards kind of get so easily knocked off the ball still. And I overheard a couple of opposition players chatting, saying, "Oh my God, if I tackle her, I'm going to break her legs." But this player, she's skinny. There's nothing of her. So sort of physically, we're struggling as well with some of our players. But that's fine. Yeah, like you said, it's about that transition's going to be for a while, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Pete, I'll bring you in at the moment. Is there anything you wanted to ask Jamie about?
Yeah, I was just wondering, Jamie, you were kind of alluding to it earlier about investing in players, sometimes at a very young age. I mean, how important is all the off-field stuff as well, of personality? And, you mentioned not only making better footballers, but, hopefully making better people as well.
Yeah. I see it. It's probably more, I think to me, it's probably just as important, if not more important. Like time, we're just a grassroots football club, so they come training once a week, they play their matches once a week, and that's pretty much it. We try to do a bit of other training every now and then to offer 2 training sessions a week, but that's really it. And it's not, and you guys would know as much that a lot of boys would be playing a lot of football during their daytime, kicking the ball around at lunch, maybe after school. They might be playing for their school team. The girls just haven't got that, so that's all the football they're doing is that once a week training and their matches. So their actual football experience is a lot more reduced or a lot more limited. The girls' game, I think, I never try to fall into the trap of comparing, but males and females are a lot more sort of sociable, and that the idea that I think girls a lot more adaptable to playing with teammates, where boys can be a little bit more individual about their play. I think it's a lot more of a sort of a feature of the girls' game, that the social side of it, I've noticed. So I think sort of building training with that in mind is something that I've kind of had to develop. How you work with them and the dynamics as a group. But yeah, and then invest in them as people, definitely. So you're considering them as individuals and their learning needs, things like that. They're trying to boost people's confidence, all that sort of side of stuff, developing their leadership skills through stuff that Simon's mentioned earlier about coaching and things like that. Yeah, all really important.
Yeah, I think, you're proving there's a whole lot more to it than just, the time on the pitch. It's been a pleasure having you on, Jamie, and best of luck for the rest of the season. And hopefully we can touch base with you again and see how you're doing. And I think it's excellent to have, such a resource in the community.
Yeah, no, so thanks for having me. Thanks for equally to you guys to kind of, I guess, providing a platform to, a different platform. I was talking about stuff online now, and yeah, you guys making it more accessible to hear about what goes on locally as far as particularly football. I know you cover other sports, but I know you predominantly do the football. So yeah, so thanks for that as well.
Oh, we love doing it. And have yourself a great Christmas.
Yeah, and you too. Thanks, guys.
If you're looking for goals,
Brown shot and it's put in by Chris Gosling. Chris Arthur volleys it home. Goalkeeper stops it with his legs, but it's turned in to the back of the net by Jack Vasey.
saves.
Bassett steps up and the goalkeeper saved it. Oh, and Bassett's put the rebound over the top.
Chances.
Bonner brings it down well. And oh, the shot bounces off the top of the crossbar. Albert looks to tee up the shot. Oh, it comes off the post.
And post-match reaction.
Yeah, I was really pleased at the way we conducted ourselves.
I thought we were very, very good. They couldn't lay a glove on us. I think it had been a boxing match, they probably would have stopped it.
And, you know, while it's only 1-0, they've got a chance, you know, and their tails are up at the end. But to be fair, we saw it out.
We've got the lot here on East Hearts Radio 90 Minutes Live. Brought to you in association with Sam's Fish Bar, Wadden Road in Ware.
Absolutely outstanding.
Okay, welcome back from that break, and many thanks to Jamie for that chat. Absolutely great to hear from him and hear all about the club and the great work that they do in the community, Pete.
Yeah, excellent, isn't it? I mean, it's just so good to have, community clubs like that. Who, I said at the beginning of the programme, they're kind of under the surface, aren't they? I just hope that, more people find out about the really great work that clubs do and the real ethos about, hey, we want to win, but that's not the be-all and end-all. We're doing this for a purpose. That's it.
And hopefully, they'll find that coach for their team. That Jamie's moving to the under-8s, like he said, but someone's coming up into the under-9s, one of the parents, and they can find a regular coach for those under-8s once everything's sorted out. But let's move on, Pete, and it's that time of week again. We've had burgers. Let's go for a donut.
This is East Hearts Radio 90 minutes donut of the week.
Right, last week's winner was Sir Mo Farah. He got 35% of the vote for his lack of geography. And Pete, like you were saying, it's a good job he doesn't have to come and pick the award up, isn't it?
Yeah, he wouldn't know where to go, would he? I think we'll go to Wales and challenge him to find us. I was just thinking, we've awarded donuts to entire countries' governments, but have we ever awarded one to a Knight of the Realm? I don't think we have.
I don't think we have, no. I don't know what Her Majesty would say about that.
Exactly. Arise, Sir Donut. Yeah.
Right, Pete, my first nomination. And remember we nominated St Neots a few weeks ago when the game against Welwyn Garden City was postponed for Wormcasts?
Remember it well.
I've got another postponed game, and this one is even more ridiculous. So there was a women's university football match in China between Fuzhou and Jimai, and it was postponed because some players had the wrong coloured hair. Now, some of them had dyed their hair, so players from both sides bought black hair dye to solve the problem. But one Fuzhou player's hair was deemed not black enough, and they had to forfeit for the game for only having 6 players. Before the game, there was multiple players that had been rejected for the match for breaking a rule. And this is where it gets even more silly. That says players must not dye or curl their hair. Other rules include no weird hairstyles, no tattoos, and men not being able to have long hair. Otherwise, they'll be disqualified from the competition. Not just, the game being awarded to the opposition. They're actually disqualified for the competition. How crazy is that?
It's absolutely crazy. And I've got my old headmaster there. It sounds like most of his rules for our school. But, it just makes me wonder how the Romanians would have got on that year. They all dyed their hair blonde. Presumably, they would have had no chance.
No, that was it. They'd have been thrown out of the World Cup straight away for that one. I mean, I just don't understand it. I really don't. But rules is rules, I guess, but ridiculous as they are.
Absolutely. Well, actually, there's a Romanian link here because my first nomination is for Marius Croiteru, who's manager of Romanian side Botasani, and it's for his reaction to his side conceding a late equaliser 4 minutes into stoppage time in their game against rival Sepsi. Botasani were holding on to a 2-1 lead when a series of ricochets in their box resulted in the equaliser going home and prompted Marius to fling himself to the turf and beat his fists against the ground, screaming as he did like a naughty 4-year-old having a tantrum. He then ran onto the pitch screaming at his defenders before taking his tracksuit top off and throwing it to the ground. It all prompted one fan to say on Twitter, "We need this man in the Premiership now." So if anybody's seen it on Twitter, have a look, and it really is. It's your 4-year-old in a manager's tracksuit.
I'm going to have to check that one out, I think, Pete, definitely. I don't know how well this is going to go down with our ref, Pete, but I'm going to nominate a referee for this next award. There was a game over the weekend where the referee did rock, paper, scissors for decided who kicked off. And, the two captains, they drew their decision, and then the referee decided to do a coin toss. It turned out that he didn't actually know the rules for rock, paper, scissors, so decided to use a coin. But the question I wonder is, why didn't he use the coin first of all?
If he's got a coin, why would... Obviously, some alternative. We've had VAR. We got rock, paper, scissors now. But, okay, my next one is, we are going up here. There's a Mo Farah link here as well, because it's for the International Olympic Committee, who on Monday, a week ago, last week, decided that they would add, as an Olympic sport for the 2024 Games, which would be held in Paris, breakdancing. Breakdancing will be referred to breaking when the competition takes to the floor, and it proved a success, evidently, at the 2018 Youth Olympics in Buenos Aires, Argentina, which was when it was proposed. When the Games come to Paris, the dance-offs will take place at a downtown venue alongside sport climbing and 3v3 basketball. Breakdancing for Olympic sport. Now, this led me on to thinking, as you know I am, we did a bit of a Steve King here, and I've compiled the top 5 very strange Olympic sports from throughout the years of the Olympics, okay? At number 5, we have solo synchronized swimming, which actually took place in 1984, 1988 and 1992. How on earth you can synchronise with yourself, I've got no idea. But back in 1896, 1904 and 1906, you could have won a gold medal for one-handed weightlifting. Good luck with that one. In 1906 and 1912, pistol duelling, but you'll be glad to know they were shooting at dummies and not at each other. In 1900, live pigeon shooting, when the gold medal was won by Australia's Donald McIntosh, who shot 22 pigeons. But my particular favourite from the 1900, I think, was the Wacky Olympics, because one of the events at the Olympics in 1900, which was also in Paris, which is a nice link, would you believe, was the horse long jump.
Oh, I'd love to see that, Pete. I really would. That's fantastic. Horse long jump. Brilliant.
And there we go. There are our nominations then. Is it the footballers that forfeited a match for having the wrong colour hair? Marius Crotteru for acting like a 4-year-old when his team conceded a goal? The referee who had absolutely no idea what rock, paper, scissors meant? Or the International Olympic Committee for putting breakdancing along with solo synchronised swimming and horse long jump?
Oh, dear. There's some crackers there, Pete. There really is. Let's move on to yesterday's fixtures for the women. In the Eastern Region Women's Football League, Watson Park Ladies, their game against Millwall Community Trust was postponed. And in the Beds and Hearts Women's Football League, Premier Division, Hartham United Ladies lost 2-0 to Dunstable Women's Blues. And Hearts Vipers, they went to Hemel Hempstead Town Ladies and came out 7-2 winners. 2 from Sarah Payne, 2 from Nikki Jancy, and then goals from Kelsey Millen, Becca Edge and Fee Carpenter completed the scoring. Cheshunt Women, they're top, played 5 12 points. Hearts Vipers are in second, played 4 12 points. Garston Ladies are in third, played 4 7 points. And Hartham United Ladies are ninth and played 5. They're still yet to get on the board. In Division 1, Shardswood ladies lost 4-0 to Letchworth Garden City Eagles, and it was new manager Paul Lilly's first game in charge. Letchworth Garden City's Eagles head the table. After 5 games, they've got 12 points. Wootton Blue Cross are in second, also with 12 points after 5 games. And Biggleswade United ladies are in third with 10 points from their 5 games. Sherwood's ladies are 9th after 4 games and 1 point. In Division 2, Hearts Vipers Development hosted Houghton Athletic Saints, came out 3-1 winners. Broder McKee, Lewis Ryan and Darcy Pachowski on the score sheet. And Watton ladies' game against Kempston Rovers ladies was postponed. Garston ladies' reserves are top there with 18 points after 6 games. Vipers Development are second with 5 games played and 12 points. And Houghton Athletic Saints are third with 9 points from their 4 games. Watton are in fourth, 6 points from 5 games. And Kempston Rovers ladies are 9th with 4 points from their 3 games. And the games in Division 3 involving Buntingford Town ladies and Bury Rangers women were both postponed. Oakland Wolves still top of the table there, 15 points from their 6 games. Flitwick Eagles are second with 10 points from 4. Buntingford Town ladies are in 5th with 5 played and 9 points. And Bury Rangers women are in 7th place, 3 points from 5 games. Ahead of Bedwell Rangers ladies with 0 points from their 5 games.
So that brings us around to having a look at the fixtures in the week to come. Busy midweek, actually, which is nice to see. All kicks off tomorrow night, Tuesday the 15th, the FA Trophy second round at the Utility, which is where we'll be, with 90 minutes full live commentary on Welwyn Garden City against Burgess Hill Town. Also, a couple of games in the Essex Senior League tomorrow night. Hadley catching up on one of those games at home to Sawbridgeworth Town. St Margaret's entertaining Southend Manor, and also a full programme for our teams in the Hart Senior County League Premier Division. Bush Hill Rangers are at Cockfosters Reserves, Hoddesdon Reserves are at home to Harefield United Reserves, and Ware Sports are at home to league leaders Wingate and Finchley Development. Some youth football on Wednesday, Southern Counties Floodlit Youth League, London Coney against Sawbridgeworth, and then Sawbridgeworth having a busy week because on Friday they've got Essex Senior League action. They're away at West Essex. Next Saturday, well, the FA Trophy third round, we hope it will be Welwyn Garden City against Aldershot, but it is at the moment, of course, Welwyn Garden City or Burgess Hill Town against Aldershot in the FA Trophy third round. In the Essex Senior League, Hoddesdon at home to Woodford Town, St Margaret's go to Redbridge. In the Hart Senior County League Premier Division, Letchworth Garden City Eagles against Bush Hill Rangers, Sandridge Rovers against Hoddesdon Town Reserves, Royston Reserves against Ware Sports, and Welwyn Garden City Reserves of under 23s are due to have a home game against Cockfosters Reserves, but that obviously will be subject to whether there's an FA Trophy game at the Utility or not. In Division 1, Aldenham against Buntingford Town, Hertford Heath against Hinton, and Standard and Puckeridge against Sun Sports Watford. Division 2, Ware Sports Reserves against Hemel Hempstead Rovers. In the Hertford District League Premier Division, you wouldn't think Alan Bridge would want to see Westmill again, would you, after what happened on Saturday? But they do, because it's the reverse fixture. Alan Bridge against Westmill in the Premier, and a meeting of the Trinities again as well, Ware Trinity against Bengio Trinity. In Division 1, there's bound to be some goals with Albury against Watton at Stone, Shearing against Hertford Heath Reserves, and in Division 2, Bengio Trinity Vets against Bullies Crusaders, Buntingford Wanderers against Inter Hoddesdon, Hertford Heath A against Greenbury United, Stotfold Town Reserves against league leaders Mangrove, and Waltham Abbey A against Much Haddam. Hockey's taking its Christmas break, but there is some basketball in NBL League Division 1. Oakland Wolves at home to Worthing Thunder.
For the women in the Eastern Region Women's Football League, there's no fixtures till the new year now. And it is worth remembering that when we spoke to Chloe Clay before, there was the idea about perhaps each team playing each other 3 times. But I'm guessing with everything that's gone on, they're just going to go ahead with a normal season. In the Benton Hearts Women's Football League Premier Division, we've got a local derby with Hearts Vipers taking on Harton United Ladies. In Division 2, Watton Ladies are playing Evergreen Ladies. and Division 3 Buntingford Town ladies against Evergreen Eagles women.
Well, that's just about it for another 90 minutes. Indeed, that's it for 2020 on the show. We're going to head into our Christmas break and come back on the 4th of January. So it's been a weird year, hasn't it? But still, we've managed to keep it going. And just want to say thanks to everybody that's listening to the 90 minutes live commentaries. It's been terrific, despite all the stuff that's been going on with COVID.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. The support that everyone's gave us, how welcoming everyone is, to all our local clubs that, have allowed us to come down, come to the games, cover, for our commentary. Thanks to them. Thanks to everyone that's, listened and followed us. And, we'll see you in a couple of weeks and, wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we'll catch you at the Utilita on Tuesday night, Wellington City against Burgess Hill Town. But until the 4th of January, have yourselves a great Christmas, and let's all hope that 2021 brings us everything we want.
Cheers, everyone. Good night.